Hello again. We've been publishing a few videos about theory, about the basics, about what is all this about. And if you haven't seen it, I recommend you to see the video called "Source and the Creator," because it shows these basics. What I thought we would do on this video is basically move into something a little bit more practical, which is basically how can we use the 3D bubble to our advantage in a practical way. And just to keep things well present, the deeper you go inside your bubbles, the inner bubbles, 4D, 5D, 6D, and so on and so on and so on, every time you move inside into the next bubble, frequencies go up. When frequencies go up, it's like intensity or magic going up as well, which means basically that you can do things at a higher frequency that you cannot at a lower frequency. I think that sounds acceptable. So the lowest of our bubbles is actually the outer bubble, the world around us, which is the 3D bubble. And because it's the lowest frequency, then it's the one that has the least possibilities. But the purpose of the 3D bubble is to serve as a mirror so we can see ourselves, so we can feel ourselves. How can we see this in practice? Imagine you have a table, and that table has a glass, so it's transparent. And you're going to take a shaker, like a salt shaker, but instead of salt, you're going to have iron filings, tiny little bits of iron, usually black, and you take that and you're going to do like this all over the table. It's a mess, right? The whole thing is just full, but it's a chaos. There's no order. Nothing makes sense in there. So what you're going to do now is you're going to grab a magnet and you're going to put it under the table. And as you approach the magnet under the table, which means under the glass, you're going to see that all these iron filings, they're going to start reorganizing themselves. They're going to start reorienting themselves. They're going to start forming curves, lines, shapes. But the iron filing is not alive, right? It's merely reacting to the essence of that magnet. So this is very easy to understand. But now look at what happens. If instead of having a table with a glass, transparent glass on top, you have one of those garden tables made of thin white plastic. And so you go and do the same thing. You're going to grab the shaker with the filings and you just shake all over the white table. But it's not transparent anymore. It's not glass, so you don't see what's happening on the other side. And so when you grab the magnet and you put it under the table, you still see that those iron filings, they are reorganizing themselves. But how do you know where the magnet is? How do you know what the magnet is doing? So if you move the magnet like this, you will see the iron filings moving like that as well. If you rotate the magnet, you will see that the whole shape is also rotating. And if you bring it closer or you put it a little bit away from the table itself, then you're going to see also that the clarity of those iron filings is going to become kind of like more focused or less focused. So in other words, the only way for you to understand what that magnet is doing and where it is going is by looking at the impact of that magnet on the table. Now, regarding your 3D bubble, you are the magnet. So all the things that you have inside of you in your inner world, they are more than magnetic. They are magnetic, they are gravitational. There's another thing in there which has a very strong impact on the 3D, because that thing you have inside of you is very high level frequency, while 3D is very low frequency. And the thing is that the higher frequencies very easily impact lower frequencies. And that thing that you have inside of you, which is very, very strong, is called free will. So you have magnetics, you have gravitational, you have the free will. And then you have a lot of other stuff. You have your dreams, your fears, your angers, your thoughts, your whatever it is inside of you, all of that is like a magnet. And 3D is going to reflect all that. So when things are moving inside of you, you will see 3D moving as well. Is 3D alive? Is the 3D physical world a reality? No, it's a simulation. It's merely a reflection. If you think of yourself, you go to the toilet. Those who have hair, you go to the toilet and you see that your hair is not well combed. It doesn't make sense to take your brush and start combing the mirror. Nothing will happen. You know it's a reflection. It's not something by itself, right? So you look at that mirror and you take a message from that mirror. The message is you need to comb yourself. So take the brush and comb yourself. Brush yourself. Rearrange yourself. Not the mirror, it's just a reflection, right? So the same thing is going to happen with your 3D bubble. The purpose of the 3D bubble, the what you call life around you, the purpose of that is to serve you as a mirror. So imagine, for example, you go on the street, you see two people fighting, and those two people, they're fighting inside your bubble, right? Inside your 3D bubble, because it's right there, you can see it. But it's not real. In the sense that all these two people fighting inside your bubble as you walk by, all they're doing is giving you a very loving message and saying, we are in conflict inside your bubble because you are in conflict inside your inner bubbles. So it's not like, oh, these people are bad, these people are good, these people are right, these people are wrong. Forget all that. It's just 3D. It's low-level frequencies. It doesn't matter. All you need to do is take a message. That's what the 3D bubble, that's the purpose of the 3D bubble. Take the message. You see yourself on the mirror. Take the message. I need to comb myself. Grab the brush. Comb yourself, not the mirror. So you will notice that most of the time you take 3D bubbles so seriously, then you want to change things. You want to say, oh, you're not good. You're not bad. You're right. You're wrong. You're this. You're that. You're good. Forget it. It's just a mirror. So what kind of messages do you take from 3D bubble? The messages you take is, if something is in my 3D bubble right now, then it means that it was possible to overlap that kind of happening, that kind of vibration with my own field, with my own vibration. And that's what I mean by taking the message. So, whatever is happening, especially, by the way, if you have synchronicities, not coincidences, but synchronicities. You wake up in the morning and something happens. You heard 2 or 3 words and you're like, interesting. But you don't really catch the message. But then at lunchtime, you hear someone saying something very, very similar, and you say, okay, that cannot be a coincidence. It's a synchronicity. It's a message. So you take the message. That's the main thing that I wanted to share with you about the 3D bubble, because if you don't take the message, imagine that when you get a message like this from your 3D bubble, from your mirror, it's life talking to you, through you, because whatever happens in your 3D bubble is basically the reflection of what is happening inside of you. So it is you giving yourself a message from higher frequencies into lower frequencies. And when life is talking to you, because this message is being requested by you, when life is talking to you and it's whispering, take the message and release the messengers. Thank you for the message. Now I know what kind of homework I need to go do. Goodbye. And take it out. If these two people are fighting, for example, in your 3D bubble, you don't take the message, you don't send them away. The next time, life, instead of whispering to you, will have to be shouting because you didn't hear. You're not being punished or anything like that. There's no such thing. It's just that you are attracting something. You didn't get it in one way, but you are still attracting it. And so now things need to become more intense. That's all. So basically, two people are fighting. You don't take the message. You don't release the messengers. The next time, maybe they will come and fight you. You see? And after that, maybe it's going to become physical. Is life being bad to you? No, because there's no such thing. It's you attracting a message to you so that you can take the message and start your homework. So again, you see a message, take the message. Now you know what your homework is. Release the message. Thank you very much. Now go away. Done. Now that you have that message, you're going to start working on whatever it is that you were in conflict with inside of you. Things like this, something else inside things like that, or eventually you think in a certain way, but you feel in a different way. So now these two are in conflict inside of you. You take the message from those two, you start dealing with your homework. There's no reason why the inner you would attract again the same message. You got the message. Why would it attract again? So make sure that you are capable of taking the message and releasing the messengers. Now do your work. And so this is how you can use the 3D bubble. Take those messages, start your homework, and that's basically what we could call an awakening. An awakening means that from a lower frequency, from a lower bubble, from a lower dimension, you are capable of getting in touch and away and become aware that you have higher frequency inner bubbles. Okay? And I will give you an example. I gave this in another video already. You are now, as a grown-up, finding, for example, that you're always afraid that whoever it is that you have a relationship with will go away and abandon you. And it has been like this all the time. It's very, very uncomfortable because you want to do something normal, something simple like going to work, and you're going to feel that you're going to be kicked out, for example, that you're going to be betrayed, that you're going to break up every single day. It's so uncomfortable. But then all of a sudden, because of these messages, because of whatever, you become aware and say, you know what, I just remembered, I don't know how, that this is exactly what happened to me when I was young. I was a child and my father disappeared and I felt so abandoned. And I think it has to do with that. So now you go to the psychologist, and the psychologist is going to make a regression, if you want to call it like that, to your childhood. And the psychologist is going to relax you on the couch and is going to say, leave your body here now with your mind only, and of course your feelings as well. Go back to where you when you were a child, meet the younger you, and explain to that younger you that your father did not abandon anyone. He was called to serve in the army. So in other words, out of love, he wanted to keep us all safe. You go inside of you through time to meet your inner child, and you explain, here I am, I'm strong, I survived, we're okay. And there was never a reason to think that there was a problem or a trauma or whatever it is. It was just a misunderstanding. So this is an example of from normal 3D, work and the boss and this and my wife and and whatever, all of a sudden you awaken and say, wait a minute, all this is not the real thing. The real thing was not here and now what I see, it's inside of me. And you awaken to the fact that the 3D you have been living is merely a mirror a reflection, a projection of what you're carrying inside of you. So now you took that message, you go inside, and finally the healing is there. You see? So awakening means that you stop looking at 3D as a real thing and you say, what is life trying to tell me? What kind of a message am I trying to tell myself from deeper inside? Right? So it is important, however, to take seriously that when you go out into that 3D life, it isn't pleasant. That's the trigger. Because at some point you're going to say, how can I make my life better? Well, I have this, but no, wait a minute. This is really, really bothering me now. So that's what you want to sort out. And this is a message coming from the inside. I want to sort this out. That's it. Once you trigger, once you turn on the attraction to hints and understandings on why this is like that, why your life is like that, and it is bothering you very much, once you manage to trigger and turn on all that, life will give you those signs. 3D bubble will bring you those messages, most often through other people. Doesn't have to be a real person. It can be through TV, through radio, it can be through a book. It can be, doesn't matter. But most often, those messages will come through people. And so it's very important when you trigger, when you turn on life's 3D bubbles messaging system, don't forget your prayers, don't forget your wishes, don't forget your purpose, don't forget the challenges that you brought to yourself, because they are the key for you to understand what the heck is this person talking to me about? Why are these two people fighting just so near me? You need to remember, what is it that you wanted to find out, to work on, to heal, to change, to improve? If you don't remember what you wanted to achieve, you will not have the key to understand the messages. And so the result again will be the same. One message, then you need another message, then another one, then another one. Until finally you remember, now I understand, it's because I wanted this or that. So 3D bubble is there at your service. You are not at the service of 3D bubble. You are not at the service of your boss, of your company. You are not at the service of money. You are not nothing. Everything you see in 3D is exactly the reflection of whatever is inside of you. And so awakening is very useful, but all you need to do is look around you and say, what is it right now that is bothering me the most? And as you do that, you need to understand that it is bothering you because it is bothering you inside, not outside. Don't fight life. Don't fight the 3D bubble. Don't try to brush your hair on the mirror, right? So see what you want to change, create that and say, life under my free will, show me the messages, bring me the messages, then go out and pay attention. And as you pay attention, you take the messages, you release the messenger. Now you got your homework. And if something is becoming a little bit more challenging, either because it's hard, either because it's heavy, or maybe because it's just simply not easy to understand. I mean, bear in mind that whatever it is that you have in your inner world that as a grown-up you have not yet started to deal with, it might be that you are hiding it from yourself in your subconscious or something like that. So you need to be patient. You need to be tolerant. You need to be self-accepting. And in that way, you need to not give up. So ask from your own help when things are not going so easy. But the thing is, because you are the magnet, once you change whatever it is inside of it that you wanted to change, whatever you see in your 3D, like on the table with the filings and so on, if the magnet changes, you will see that the curves and the lines and everything on over the table, they will change also, because that's the nature of life. It reflects whatever is inside of you. You sort yourself inside, you fix it, you heal it, you change it, you improve it. 3D will reflect those changes. Things will become different. So 3D bubble is very, very practical, but more than that, it can be a lot of fun, because most often life has a tremendous sense of humor when it comes to giving you messages. It's really funny, to the point that all of a sudden, when you get the message, you look like crazy inside a bus or a meeting, and you start laughing by yourself, because it is really funny. But it is magic also. I can also tell you from experience, not just mine, from other people, that if any of this process would have to be a hard one, then it would be the first time you do this kind of exercise of taking messages, doing your homework, changing your magnet, and then all of a sudden seeing 3D bubble. The first time there's a lot of new stuff. The second time it's a lot easier. Fourth or fifth, you're multitasking already. It's that easy, especially because the planet has been recalibrated to go from a 3D frequency to a 5D frequency. So we live in an aquarium, if you wish, where everything is here to help us awaken, to help us heal, to help us change. I hope this can be useful for you. Put in the comments if there's anything that you're having trouble sorting out, solving, improving, healing, whatever. I don't know what happened there. There was a glitch. So I guess in my 3D bubble, if there was a glitch, then I guess there's a glitch inside of me. What does that mean? Well, don't do that, because you'll go nuts. Life is full of messages all the time, but remember that the key to understand those messages is your purpose. What are you trying to heal? What are you trying to improve? What are you trying to change? What are you trying to let go? Very, very important. What are you trying to let go? If you have that purpose, then you have the key to understand the message, and everything will be very clear. But if you start by, oh, that's a message. Oh, that's also a message. You'll go crazy, because you will see messages everywhere. But because you don't have a purpose, then you won't know how to understand those messages. Start with your purpose. Stay focused on your purpose. What is it you want to do? What are you trying to achieve? And then the messages will become clear. What I was going to tell you before, just before the glitch, is that if you get to a point where you know there are messages, but you can't understand them, or you know what you need to change, but you can't find a way to change it, or something that might happen is called a 5D tarot reading. So 5D, obviously, because it has a very high frequency, to the point that it's going to look at your 5D bubble. It's really deep. And the thing is, with the 5D tarot reading, the deck of cards is used as a camera to take a snapshot of your inner world. If you take a snapshot of your inner world quite deep, then you can understand what you're doing as a magnet, quite deep also, and how you are impacting the 3D bubble, life around you. So it takes more or less an hour and a half. You can see more details on that in coyochi.net. The link is down in the description. Go there and check about the 5D tarot reading. I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly did. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.